So let's take a look at problem number 13 in section 5.1. We're given what's called the general form for a circle. So notice I have x squared x, y squared y, and a 4. So all of these are unlike terms. So this can't really be reduced with the idea of like terms any further. There's no parentheses squared. So this is general form. To graph a circle, we like standard form, because standard form, just looking at it, tells us the center and the radius, so then I can graph it. So let's give it a shot. So this one right here is general form. Oops, general form. What I want to do is I want to put it in standard form. And standard form looks like x minus h, that's the center x value, plus y minus k, the center y value, equals the radius squared. And so these guys right here are my center. In order to get it from this to that, I have to complete the square. So I'm just going to do that one step at a time. So remember, completing the square is, we want this to be a 1x squared, which it is, and then we take half of that middle term. So I have x squared plus 4x at the moment. And then the first b is 4. I want to cut that in half to get a 2, and then I want to square that sucker. So 2 squared is 4. And so that means I really want a plus 4 right there. So on the other side of the equal side, I had a 4 that existed. Now I want to add a 4 to match this one right here. Have to do the same thing with the y's. So I want that to be a 1y, which it is. So I have plus y squared plus 2y, and then I repeat this process. Now my b is 2. Cut that in half to get a 1, and then square it. 1 squared is 1. So that means I have to add a 1 to make this a perfect square for y. And I also have to balance the equation and put a 1 over there too. All right, cleaning things up. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9 on that side. On this side, the point of adding that 4 is now this is the x plus 2 squared. And the point of adding the 1 is this right here can be more simply written as y plus 1 squared. So it's always that halved number that goes inside, the halved number that goes inside there. So now I know this is the standard form of this circle. In standard form, it's always x minus the h value. So since that's a plus, h must have been -2 there. Since this is a plus, but I was expecting a minus, that must have been k is -1. So that means my center must be the point -2, -1. And then the radius squared is always that number. So that means r must be the square root of 9, which is 3. Now that I know the center and the radius, I can graph it using that 2-point graphing program. So if this question just said, hey, what's the standard form? Well, okay, I got that right here. But this question said graph it, which means I need to know the standard form to get the center and the radius. So to use this here, I'm going to click the center, which was -2, -1. And I didn't place that in quite the right spot. And then from there, I want a radius of 3, right? So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, and my touchpad made that tricky. So if you plot the points and you're like, oh man, that doesn't look like a good job, you can move them after. So I'm going to try to move that closer. And then this point, I really wanted it to be right about there. All right, and hopefully I put those in the right spot, close enough. If I didn't get that in the right spot, like maybe I thought it was up here, then when I submit, it's going to say, oh, sorry, that's not close enough. Like, darn, I thought I was right. Let's move that again. Maybe it's up 1, 2, 3. Right, and so sometimes these are picky. That looks close enough. Oh, got it right that time. So again, I just used that standard form information.